Good morning. I'm in the backyard today because I want to show you some kayak modifications that I'm making. You're probably going to hear planes flying and neighbors and car doors slamming, and there's some construction going on across the street, so sorry about all that. Hopefully we can power through and show you some of the things I'm doing to my kayak to make it easier for me on these multi-day kayak camping trips that I do. So basically I wanted more storage on my kayak, and on the front here I've already added 4 more of these TieOut points, these 4 here, so that I can lash down a bag or whatever else I want to right on the front without having to try to fit it underneath these bungees that came on the kayak. I'm going to do the same thing in the back here. I'm going to add 6 more tie down points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that'll let me strap 2 bags down to the back here. These are the bags that I'm going to be using on my trip. I have a trip coming up in about a week, and so I want to be able to strap these down so that they're nice and solid and they don't fall into the river. So this is the hardware that I'm using. I got these little plastic TieOut points from Amazon, and they came with these rivets. I got 2 packs of them, and there were 10 in each pack, so I've got 20 of the rivets here, or I guess 40 rivets and 20 of these, because there are 2 rivets for each of the TieOut points. And as far as tools go, I've got a drill with a 3/16 inch drill bit, a permanent marker, and a pop riveter tool. I marked a point here with the permanent marker, so I'll drill that out. And then the rivets come with an O-ring attached to them. So I put the rivet through the plastic piece and then put the O-ring on below that. The O-rings help with waterproofness. So let's stick that in there. And then use the tool here. This is the first time I've riveted stuff for this project, and it's kind of fun to do. So you squeeze it once, squeeze it twice, make sure the tool is up against the rivet, the plastic part each time. 3, and then breaks off at 4. So the shaft of the rivet breaks off, and now it's solidly on there. Drilling out the second hole now. And same thing, rivet, O-ring, and into the hole. This tool was $10 at Harbor Freight. Not expensive. There we go. So I'll do this 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll show you the finished result. Okay, we've got the 6 TieOut points now. Took about 10 minutes to put them all in. No problems. And they are nice and solid. So let's add the bags on and see how it looks. I think that'll be okay. I'm not sure if I'll be using these things or not. These are adjustable bungee cords. I don't know if I'll be using those on my upcoming trip, but either way, looks good. They're solid on here. I'm really happy about that. Let me show you one other thing that I've done, one other modification I've made. I added a TieOut point right here to the right of my little cockpit area. And this is just some 1/8 inch elastic cord, bungee cord, with the toggle on there. I'm gonna cut off this excess here. I haven't done that yet, but this is to hold my spare paddle in place. Let me show you. This is my spare paddle, and this is required on a lot of the river trips that I do, the overnight river trips. And so, convenient place to have it is right here. And this is where I put it on my last trip, but it slid around a bit. And so what this bungee allows it's now nice and solid there. There are a couple other modifications I'm gonna make before the trip. I haven't done them yet because I'm still waiting for some of the pieces to come in the mail, but I'll update you either later today or tomorrow or sometime in the next few days before my trip and show you what else I've got going on this thing here. So it's been about a week, a little bit more than a week since the last part of this video, and I'm back from the river trip, which again, if you're patient, you'll see that on my channel. I've recorded several videos from that trip, but let me show you the other modifications that I made here. I ended up having these 4 TieOut points here, and I had I used straps to strap something down right here. I have this TieOut point here and here. I had a small dry bag right here with my camera gear in it, so it was easily accessible. Got this one here and another one here. This kept my spare paddle, and this one, I think I just clipped things to this one. So I had some big jugs of water that I kept back in here, and I kept a lanyard on them, and I clipped the other end into this. And then these 8 TieOut points back in here. So I had a large dry bag here, and then my backpack here strapped down. I made these straps to strap things down. There's just a little carabiner clip on one end, another carabiner clip on the other end, and then there's just an adjuster there to tighten it down. Worked really well, so I had one here and one here for each bag, so 2 going like an X over each bag to keep it down. And then one interesting thing is what I used these 4 other TieOut points for. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They're kind of around this cockpit area. And I wanted to make something like a spray deck or spray skirt. I wanted something that, like a piece of waterproof fabric that I could put across the open part of the kayak to serve 2 functions. First, so that when water came in on rapids, it wouldn't completely sink me. That's what happened on a previous trip. I'm okay with some water getting in there, but I just wanted something for you know, to go over the top that would protect me from most of the water getting in, or at least some of the water getting in. So that if water came up over the side, it would kind of hit the fabric and then just keep going. So that was the first reason, and then the second reason was to protect my legs from the sun. I didn't want to have to worry about my legs getting sunburned too much. So let me show you what I came up with. This is the result. It is a piece of fabric. I'm going to lay it out on the grass here. It's a piece of slightly trapezoidal fabric that I cut and hemmed the edges of. And on each corner, there's a little carabiner, some cord, an adjuster, so I can adjust how far away the carabiner is from this point, so I can make it closer or farther away. And then there's a button snap, so it easily comes off and then just snaps back on. And that's so that if I do go upside down in the kayak, if I do have to bail, I can easily get out and I'm not stuck underneath it. Not that it's really tight enough to me where I couldn't get out even if it did stay attached, but you know, it doesn't hurt to be extra safe like that. So I'll put the kayak on the ground and put the spray skirt on, and I'll show you how it all works. So the carabiners just clip into the TieOut loops. and then I can tighten it or loosen it depending on how taut I want it to be. And if I stick my knees up a little bit, then you know, it creates angles here, so the water will just kind of go down. Some will go toward me, but again, not as much as otherwise would if I didn't have this thing at all. And it worked really well for keeping the sun off my legs on that last trip, and it also worked really well for keeping water from getting on my, or inside of my kayak. And again, it's easy to get out of. Just do that and free to go. It also, the buttons also break away with like, I don't know, 5 pounds of force, something like that. And that's it for this video, just a quick little update on my kayaking situation. I love this thing. If you haven't seen my kayak gear video, I'll put a link to that in the description below. But it's been a really fun little toy. This is the second summer that I've had it. It's enabled a lot of adventures that I otherwise wouldn't have had. Like I've mentioned before, it was less than $200. It was the cheapest kayak I could find. It's not a great kayak, but it's a lot of fun. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.